The rights that you are going to give will be just three. Three that they will be decided by the common of your two groups, okay? And you are the voices spoken for those.
Which right to preserve? So we think we should preserve appropriation of a public space. When we are talking about which rights should be introduced, in our mind, it is participation of different disciplines like sociologists and anthropologists during design process and municipal approval. And if we are talking about which right should be abolished, is the criteria of choosing the winning project by the lowest price. In Poland, there's a criteria of choosing the project to realize by the lowest price. I think it should be abolished.
Urban right to preserve for us is people's choice. Which is for you an urban right to introduce? For us is the right to appropriate. Appropriate, when you talk about the squares, I think there's a problem of scale. So what we say the right to appropriate is like the small community spaces, the small scale squares, when we want the people to connect and interact. Which is for you an urban right to abolish? The right of indifference.
What me and Fanny decided to preserve is the use of the street as a public reality, because we believe that sometimes it's disappearing. What we want to introduce is like some private elements directly from the community in this public reality. So it can be elements built by people or managed by people. And what we want to get rid of is this actual rigid bureaucracy that is not allowing this kind of reality. Thank you.
A right to preserve is a right to express yourself. A right to introduce is an urban tool to let everybody to express themselves. The right to eliminate would be to avoid the long bureaucracy to actually accomplish or to make a project.
My name is Rachel. I don't think I can answer this question individually, so I have one answer for all of the three questions, because I don't think there are rights or the people know what is the real urban rights. So I think the rights are made by the persons who care for the city and the others, and there's a lack of opportunities like reaction to bring this up, this thing like worry about people and worry about what they really need. So a urban right that we should introduce is the opportunity to have in this city and in more places, not only Grasse, the opportunity to have 200 people thinking and talking with the community, because these people forget that they had voice, they have thoughts, they have the power to decide and the power to have the will and the strength to transform the city. So I think we should abolish individuality, because we need the people to command and change the city.
For us, an urban right to preserve is the accessibility, in the sense that the spaces have to be accessible to everyone, and for people who cannot access, there must not be costs for that. In the sense, the cities really should be like a space that can be used by everyone. An urban right to introduce, it's the free occupation of unquality spaces and empty spaces. So spaces where the community or the city cannot take care of, they can be occupied and used by the people for good purpose, of course. And I would say an urban right to abolish is the trade of buildings and public spaces. Sometimes it happens that for money reasons, the city sells to private areas, and doing that sometimes, most of the time they don't, they cannot, the people cannot use them anymore.
The right to preserve is the urban habits and urban diversity. We think that the city should make space for every group to realize its subjectivity and its identity and make affordable spaces. Right? Okay. We think that we should introduce creative playgrounds, places, locations where almost anything is possible and everyone can make its own event or happening. And number 3, we think we should abolish the public-private partnerships and stop using public money for private interest.
It is something about making money versus people's comfort, needs, choices.
We think a right to preserve or to keep is sharing the information between people and the community. The right to introduce, we have, first the right to propose and discuss ideas that can do good or bad things to the space.
To allow the people of the community to shape and define their own environments through discussion. Oh yeah, and I'm going to do the last one. And the right that we want to abolish is the right to drive cars into dense urban spaces.